guys, and welcome to another episode of Granny Square Tuesday. I think this is week 5. I am sipping on some coffee this morning. So some of you might already know this is a new series that I have started. Originally I wanted to do tutorials, but because of copyright issues, I can't do that. So instead it has turned into a weekly update on a project that I am calling a spring throw. So what I'm doing is I'm going through this book and I'm picking out the floral designs. And working those up and then showing you guys what my versions of each square looks like compared to their version. This week I did this one here, and it is called the Pretty Puff Square. That is what their version looks like. I took it and I tried to make it more floral. So I will show you. This is my version of that same square. Let me see if I can maybe do a comparison. I used more colors for one, and I did the corners in green to kind of simulate flowers. And then their center is all in the same color. I did a yellow, and then I did the 3 petals in all 3 different colors. So you can see, like, this week I did add a new color to my color palette. This is actually Spring Green by Big Twist. I don't remember what project I used it in, but I had some scrap Spring Green and Big Twist. You know, sadly Joann's is going out of business, so I won't be able to get this specific color again, but I'm sure that Red Heart, when I run out, I'm sure that Red Heart or one of the other value brands, you know, has some shade of green that's similar to this. But other than that edition, these are actually the same colors that I have been using. The Erin by Hirschner's. This is Red Heart Super Saver Petal Pink or Pretty Pink, something. I think it's Petal Pink. And this one is Hirschner's Worsted. And I don't remember what it's called, what the colorway is. But I do have the bag right here. Let's see what it is. What is it? Because I have no idea. Oh, I bet it's the Lingo Berry. Or Ling-On Berry? I don't know. It's this color by Hirschner's. So, and then that's the Spring Green by Big Twist, and that's the Buff by Red Heart Super Saver. So this particular square really gave me like Morning Glory vibes. I don't know, but as I was making this in the shades of pink and red, I was like really feeling purple. I was like, I should get a bright white color, and then like a lavender color, and then a dark purple, and that. But I want to make all of the squares that I'm gonna be using before I decide to make doubles. But I mean, this one really gave me spring vibes, and I mean, like, it's another one of these raised designs. I will say it was taxing a little bit because there are so many popcorn stitches. Here's what the back looks like. I'm not gonna have to weave in any ends except for that center one from the magic ring. And for the green, I just carried the green all the way around. I had started with a corner, and as I went around, I just carried it all the way around, and that's how I got just the corners green. But I would not mind making a blanket out of this square. I really liked this one. Like I said, it was a little taxing on my wrists and whatnot. And there are some spots, like right here, that you can actually see the tails. But, you know, like right there, there's 3 different tails that I'm trying to hide in those stitches. But I think for the most part, it turned out really pretty. And I really enjoyed this square. And I wouldn't mind using it to make, you know, something other than a blanket. I'm not sure what. But something that I did notice, though, recently about this book, I thought they were all mix and match. Sorry, zooming in, and I should be zooming out. I thought they were all mix and match. However, I can find it real quick. So, if you look right here, it says 80 stitch square. Luckily, I haven't made any others, but the squares actually come in 2 different sizes. There's an 80 stitch square, and then right here, there is a 112 stitch square. So, luckily, I haven't made any that have a total of 112. All of my squares so far have been 80 stitch squares, but I'm glad that I noticed that before I went and I made a 112 stitch square, and then was like, why is this so much bigger? I don't understand. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with the 80 stitch squares. Maybe once I'm done with the spring throw, we can find something to do with the 120 stitch squares. I don't know if that'll be a blanket, or maybe I can use some thinner yarn and do, you know, I don't know, something. I don't know. That's for a future video. I really don't know. So this was the square that I made for this week. I think this was week 6, right? Anyways, I hope it inspires you guys to play around with some granny squares. I know this book definitely has been inspiring me to play around with granny squares. I'm having so much fun being, you know, making different squares. The fact that it's, maybe that's what it is. I'm not making the same square over and over again. But I'm having so much fun doing this. But yeah, I hope this video inspires you guys, if nothing else. I know it's not a tutorial, but like I said, hopefully eventually I will get the confidence up enough to start trying to design my own granny squares. And then you'll have a playlist that says Granny Square Tutorials instead of Granny Square Tuesdays. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next week for Granny Square Tuesday. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye!